Alaikum Warahmatullahi, Wabarakatuh. Today we are learning Introduction to Sukun, that's the letter without vowel sound. But before we start today's lesson, let's do the review of our previous class. In our last class, we talked about formation of three-letter words using involving the Arabic vowel Alif Madi, Wa Madi, and Ya Madi. Now we have Ya Fatiha Ya, Ro Fatiha Ro, Fa Doma Wa Madi Fu, Ya Ro Funa. That's involving Wa Madi. Involving Alif Madi, we have Kho Fatiha Alif Madi Kho, Lam Fatiha La Kho, La Ta Kesroti Kho, La Ti Ha, Fatiha Madi Ha, Kho, La Ti Ha. We have back extra on the B, don't Fatiha now, that's B now. Now let's quickly run through what we have for today. I know you would have come across words that has a small circle. Now this Sukun is a sound mark or sign in Arabic, written as a small circle above a letter. It is used to show that the letter has no vowel, neither Fatiha, nor Kesra or Doma. What I'm trying to say is that Sukun, it is soundless, does not have sound. Sukun cannot stand on its own. It needs a subordinate. Just like, let me compare it to, you are placing a book on a table without putting anything beside or without putting anything under it to hold the book firm. So Sukun cannot stand on its own. That's what I'm trying to say. Without any other letter or any other words. So you cannot pronounce Sukun alone. Like Alif Fatiha, we can pronounce it alone. But Alif Sukun doesn't make any sense. It's not going to give us any sound because Sukun is soundless. That's what I'm trying to say. Now we say Sukun is a sign in Arabic. It is written above a letter. And it is telling us that the letter has no vowel sound. Neither Fatiha, nor Kesra or Doma. Now let's continue. We have Alif Fatiha. You know I said Sukun cannot stand on its own. It needs a subordinate. When we have Alif Fatiha and we have Alif Sukun. Now the rules is that we are using the first letter, the sound, whatever sound the first letter gives us, that's what we're going to use to pronounce. Now I have Alif Fatiha, Alif Sukun, we have A. Now for this one, I have Alif Fatiha, Ba Sukun. You know letter Ba sound. Now Alif Fatiha, A and Ab sound, that's Ab. You're pronouncing this one. That's if you're pronouncing half of this one. You know letter Ba sound, Ba give us the sound. So pronouncing this first letter, using this first sound, and you pronounce this first sound first before you pronounce this the sound that this letter is giving us. You know I said Alif Fatiha, Ba Sukun, Ab. It is Ab because this letter Ba sound. Now same thing applies to Ta. Alif Fatiha, we can write Alif Hamza Fatiha or Alif Fatiha, it's still the same thing. When we have Alif Fatiha and we have Ta Sukun, you know letter Ta down. So pronouncing the sound A, Ye, and that's at. Alif Fatiha Alif Sukun A, Alif Fatiha Ba Sukun Ab, Alif Fatiha Ta Sukun at. You know I pronounce this first, this sound A before pronouncing this sound at. Now Alif Fatiha Fa Sukun Af. You know I said letter sound. So pronouncing the A and together, that will give you Af. Alif Fatiha Jim Sukun. Jim sound that's Aj. Alif Fatiha Jim Sukun Aj. That's the logic. If you want to understand this Sukun very well, you just need to know that there's a rules guiding it. Know that number one, you pronounce the first letter, whatever the sound the letter is giving you, and you pronounce and use the sound that the second letter is giving you. You pronounce the two sounds together like this: A, Alif Fatiha A, Alif Sukun A, Alif Fatiha A, Ba Sukun Already you know that ba has that ba give you the sound p. So you pronounce the sound and a, the first letter, ab, alif asia a, ta sukun at. Since you know that ta has the sound s, so pronouncing this a and together, that's at. Alif asia a, fa sukun, af, sa has the sound. So pronouncing this the sound a and together, that's af. Alif asia a, jim sukun, aj. You already know this letter give me the a sound, then jim sound, that's aj. Alif asia a, ha sukun, letter ha sound, that's ah, ah. Alif asia a. Then we have kha sukun. You can see, I said it earlier that sukun is a sound or sign in Arabic written above a letter, written as a small circle above a letter. Can you see? It's just like a small circle, just tiny circle like this, written as a small circle above a letter, and it is used to show that the letter has no vowels, neither fatia, kesro, nor dhamma. It does not attract any fatia or kesro or dhamma, and it cannot stand on its own. That's one thing that you should be aware of. Now I have kha sound, that kha sound. Now pronouncing this a sound and that's ah. Now alif atia a, dal sukun, that's how sound, that's ad. Now we have alif atia a, zal sukun, ab, because zal is sound. Now we have alif asia a, ra sukun, letter ra sound. So pronouncing that a and r together, that's r. Alif asia a, zain sukun, as. The difference between ab and as. This one has sound. This one has sound. Ab, as is different. But transliteration can be so funny. Like it's giving me the same spelling. Now let's continue. We have alif asia a. Then we have sin sukun. Alif asia a, sin sukun, as. A and s, that it sounds as. Now we have alif asia a, shi sukun. Since letter shi sounds sh, pronouncing that a and sh together, ash. Alif asia a, sol sukun, aus. Now alif asia a, alif asia a, dot sukun, ab. The difference between ad and ab. Now alif asia a, alif asia a, ta sukun, ab. Alif asia a, za sukun, ab, because that is different from as. Alif asia a, ain sukun, r, because ring sound and r. Alif asia a, going sukun, am. Alif asia a, fa sukun, af. The fa has a sound. Pronouncing this a and together, that's af. And I said it earlier that we are going to pronounce the first letter that we have before that sukun, because I cannot pronounce this fa sukun. It is soundless. It's not making any sense. It's not going to give me any sound. Now we have alif asia a, of sukun, a. Alif asia a, kaf sukun, ak. There is an a and ak. Alif asia a, Lam Sukun. Already we know that lam has a li sound. Al. Alif Asia A. Mim Sukun. Am. Alif Asia A. Nun Sukun. An. Because nun has the sound. N sound. Alif Asia A. Waw Sukun. Aw. Alif Asia A. Ha Sukun. A. A. Alif Asia A. Yaw Sukun. I. That's about Sukun. All you just need to know that if you know the rules, then you are good to go. Now, in the institution where I write Ba Fatia Ba, Ba Sukun. You know this one give me the sound Ba Fatia Ba, and this one has a B sound. Ba Fatia Ba and B sound. That's Bab. Pounds write this together now. I'll have Bab, because I pronounce this first. You're pronouncing the letter that has haroka. That means the one that has vowel sound and the one that is soundless together. Ba Fatia Ba, Ba Sukun, Bab. Ba Fatia Ba, Ta Sukun. Ba Fatia Ba, Ta Sukun, Bats. Because we said this one has a Ba sound, Ba Fatia Ba, that's our sound. And this one that does not have any vowels, that is soundless. Ta Sukun, we cannot pronounce it on its own, because we said Sukun cannot stand on its own. It needs a subordinate. So, and subordinate is the letter that we're having before the Sukun, before the letter that has Sukun. So this ta has its sound. So Ba Fatia Ba, Ta Sukun, Bats. If I have Sa Fatia Sa, Ba Sukun. Now Fa Fatia Fa, Ba, B sound. Fa and that fab, this is going to give me fab. Fa Fatia Sa, Ba Sukun, fab. The rules once again is that Sukun is a sound mark or sign in Arabic. It is written above a letter to show that the letter has no vowel sound, neither fasia nor kesra or doma, and Sukun cannot stand on its own without a subordinate. So there should be there's always a letter before any letter that attracts Sukun. That's how Sukun works. It cannot stand on its own. I cannot say To Sukun. I'm not going to get any sound from it. Not because I can't pronounce it. Yes, you cannot pronounce To Sukun alone. You need a particular letter to pronounce it. Just like saying she has. You're saying she has. A reasonable person will ask you that she has what, because that sentence is not complete yet. So that is the same rule that is being applied when we are talking about Sukun also. It cannot stand on its own. It needs a subordinate to function well. So this will be the end of our today's class. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and also hit the notification bell in order for you to be active and be notified whenever a new video is being released. I remain your Muallima, Hadiyatullah.